Hey everyone, welcome to today's Explainer. We are going to be exploring a totally fascinating way to understand our own minds, and we're going to do it using a really cool botanical metaphor. So, if you've ever wondered why you suddenly feel super generous out of nowhere, or maybe why you sometimes get grumpy for literally no reason at all, you are definitely in the right place. We're about to break down the actual mechanics of human consciousness. And honestly, it's a lot simpler and a whole lot more like a garden than you might think.
Okay, I want you to picture this right now. Imagine your mind is a giant, sprawling tree. You've got massive branches up top, representing your thoughts, and thousands of little leaves representing the things you do every single day. But to really understand why this tree grows the way it does, we have to look past the leaves, right? We have to ask ourselves, what is hiding underground feeding it? What kind of soil is it sitting in? Because any good gardener will tell you, the health of a tree doesn't start up in the branches. It starts way deep down in the dirt.
So let's dive into this concept called hethu. Hethu is an ancient word. It comes from a language called Pali, and it basically just means the hidden roots of our consciousness. You can think of these roots as the fundamental drives that literally pull nutrients, either good or bad ones, up into our minds. And those nutrients completely dictate our actions. Every single choice you make, from offering a friend a piece of your lunch to yelling because you lost a video game, is powered by a specific hethu.
Section 1. The 3 toxic roots. Unwholesome fertilizer.
All right, let's decode these 3 toxic roots from Pali into English. First up, we have loba, which translates to greed. Think of that as the feeling of wanting everything for yourself. You know, like wanting to eat the entire batch of cookies and absolutely refusing to leave any for your siblings. Second is dosa, which means hatred or anger. That is that fiery, frustrated feeling you get when things just don't go your way. And third is moho, meaning delusion or ignorance. This is when your mind is just foggy, confused, or you're totally ignoring the reality of a situation. These 3, they are the absolute ultimate bad fertilizer for your mind tree.
Here's the crucial point. Whenever we have an unwholesome thought or make a bad choice, our consciousness is actually associating with and actively feeding on these specific toxic roots. When you snatch a toy away from a friend, your tree is drinking up lubba, or greed. When you slam a door in anger, your tree is soaking in dosa, or hatred. This is exactly what we mean by unwholesome consciousness. It's a state of mind that's just drawing up this toxic sludge, and if we aren't careful, it literally starts to rot the branches of our tree. Section 2. Toxic root rules. The laws of nature. Now, here is where it gets really interesting. These roots follow very strict laws of nature. The first major rule is that your mind will never, ever be infected by all 3 of these toxic roots at the exact same time. It's kind of like a circuit board that would completely blow a fuse if you plug too many high-voltage wires into it at once. Your mind just cannot sustain pure greed, pure hatred, and pure delusion all in the exact same millisecond. They might take turns, sure, or pop up in pairs, but never all 3 simultaneously. No way.
To understand why, think about the basic physics of these emotions. First, there's greed. Greed is a pulling motion. It wants to grab things, hoard things, and yank them close to you. Mine, 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 right? Then there's hatred. Hatred is a pushing motion. It wants to reject things, violently push them away, break them, or just get rid of them completely.
Because pulling and pushing are total physical opposites, we get rule number 2. Greed and hatred absolutely refuse to be in the same room, meaning they cannot arise together in your consciousness. Think about it. You simply cannot grab something tightly toward your chest and violently shove it away at the exact same moment. It's impossible, and your mind works the exact same way. You might feel greedy for a slice of cake, and then literally a minute later feel angry that you dropped it. But those are 2 completely separate moments of consciousness. They never happen at the exact same time.
Section 3. The nourishing roots. Super nutrients for the mind.
Let's move to the bright side. When we take those toxic roots we just talked about and flip them entirely upside down, we get our super nutrients. Non-greed becomes charity, that is the awesome joy of sharing and giving things away. Non-hatred becomes goodwill, which is friendliness, kindness, and genuinely hoping others are happy. And non-delusion becomes wisdom, which is seeing things clearly, understanding how the world actually works, and making super smart choices. These are the golden roots of the mind.
Whenever you do something kind, fair, or smart, your wholesome consciousness is directly associating with these amazing, healthy roots. Imagine a rush of pure, clean water and brilliant sunshine just hitting your mind tree. That's exactly what happens when you help a classmate with their homework or when you choose to share your favorite snack. You are literally activating these wholesome roots, and your consciousness just drinks up all that incredible positive energy.
Section 4. The wholesome team up. Power in numbers. Now, unlike the chaotic, toxic roots that are always fighting with each other, our wholesome heroes, charity, goodwill, and wisdom, have a totally different strategy. They are the ultimate team players. They actually don't like to be alone. When things are positive and healthy, these roots act like the best group of friends you could ever imagine. They look out for each other, and they combine their powers to make your mind incredibly strong.
In fact, to have a truly wholesome consciousness, these roots are always going to show up in groups of 2, or sometimes even all 3 at once. That's right, they never show up just by themselves. They use a buddy system.
So that brings us to rule number 3. Wholesome roots never work alone. Whenever you practice charity, like, say, giving away a toy you don't use anymore, you're not just activating non-greed. You're almost certainly bringing along goodwill, too, because you want the other person to be happy. And if you're doing it because you know deep down it's the right thing to do, boom, wisdom has joined the party, too. 2 or 3 of these roots always arrive together to completely supercharge your mind tree.
So as we wrap up this explainer, the biggest thing I want you to remember is that you are the ultimate gardener of your own mind. You literally have the power to notice when the toxic roots of greed, anger, or delusion are trying to sneak in. And you have the power to swap them out for those team-playing roots of charity, goodwill, and wisdom. The final question you have to ask yourself as you go about your day is this: which roots are you going to let feed your tree today? Thanks so much for joining me to explore the amazing garden of the mind, and I absolutely cannot wait to see how tall your tree grows.